We're studying IGCSE mathematics, and we're starting angle properties and circle theorem revision 2. Recap: we did circle theorem rules last class. Today we're doing angle properties. Now get your notebook ready. Just a second. Perfect. All right. Let's first start with polygons. Now, who has joined actually? Tell me. Mavada, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just to introduce myself, I will be your teacher for most of the IGCSE subjects, unless I'm busy. Someone else will be teaching me. My name is Mohammed Shahid Akhtar. I'm a student at the University of Edinburgh. I'm studying electronics and computer science double major. And I got all the stars in IGCSE, the same in A levels. I was also the topper in A levels and the region topper in IGCSE. Now, Mavada, tell me something about yourself. The rest of you write in your notebook. Yes. Tell me your full name and so where do you live? All of that.
My full name is Mawad Haytham.
Right.
Mawad Haytham Ahmed, and
Mawad, right.
I'm a student in grade 10.
Right. Any hobbies?
Yes, I love to cook and to play some basketball.
Basketball. Everyone loves basketball. Well,
Yeah.
I love basketball. We actually had a tournament when I was there at your school. We won the tournament. Basketball, which position?
Defender.
You guys play like that? Defender, all right. All right. So that would be shooting guard. Not a shooting guard, you would just be shooting guard, right? I would play at the same position as well. Shooting guard, sometimes center, making 3-pointers and all of that. Now back to the class. Since we're studying maths right now, we have done a lot of this already. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Now write this in your notebook, all of you. Tell me when you're done. These are some of the sum of angles. Whenever we have a shape, the angles always add up to something. Now, if you look at a point, the angle all around it is always going to be 360 degrees. That's like a full turn. Angle on a straight line is always like this. So if I have A and B add up to 180. Lastly, sum of angles in a triangle. Every triangle has three angles and all of them add up to 180. Any questions? Niranjana, Lula, Diana?
No, sir.
All right. Now we look at something more complicated for regular polygons. Let's say interior and exterior angles. Let's first look at interior angles. Now, the exterior angle is always going to be is equals to 360 divided by n. Right? The whole thing, draw the diagrams in your notebook as well. Since this is a revision, I am giving you all of the things which you have to memorize in a clean, neat format. So please keep it in your notebook. Write all of it and memorize all of it as well. Next thing is we look at internal angles. Now, both of these are for regular polygons only. For regular polygons only. And the next rules are going to be sum of exterior angle and the sum of interior angles. All right. Tell me when you're done writing. Mabadda, do you have your notebook with you?
Yes, sir.
All right. So start writing. Tell me when you're done. Ask me if you have any questions.
Sir,
Yes.
so what about a rectangle? What
about it?
What the sum of the angles?
Right. Sum of the angles. Now, it's a rectangle. How many sides does the rectangle have? Let's count it.
4 sides.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sides. Perfect. Good job. Now, what is happening here? Is rectangle a regular polygon? Well,
Yeah.
yes, it is. It has straight lines only, no curvature like this, no random shapes. That's not a regular polygon. A regular polygon is any shape with straight lines only. Next thing is, okay, so exterior angle is 360 by n. You asked me interior angle, right? So all we have to do is use this formula then, which is 180 interior angle is going to be 180 minus 360 divided by n. That's the sum. Well, no, actually, that's individual angle. Let's first find the individual angle. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So 180 minus 360 divided by n. 360 divided by n. N is 4. So 180 minus 90. Therefore, we realize that each angle is 90 degrees. And that's correct. Each of these is 90 degrees. Fine. But you asked me the sum. So we'll use this formula now. 180 times, how many sides are there? 4. So n is the number of sides. 4 minus 2, which will give us 180 times 2, which will give us 360. Well, if I add 90 4 times, I will get 360. So all the formulas work. Ranjana, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
All right, to finish writing quickly, and then we look at more examples, especially from the past papers. Now, my goal is not to just finish the syllabus for you or give you notes. The main goal is after you write the notes, you have to do past papers. Now, the main past papers will actually start after the end of each chapter. So let's write everything quickly and tell me when you're done. Safa, can you see the calculator on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right. Lula, how much have you written?
I'm done, sir. I'm just writing the drawings right there.
And Diana?
Same.
Same. Safa?
Sir, finished.
Finished. Now, next thing we're looking at is, before we look at anything actually, let's just do a few questions, which is called, in my classes, I like to call them skills check. Because having knowledge is fine. I can give you hundreds of pages of notes. But if you can't use those knowledge, then it's useless. Let's start with the first question. Should I take a question from the book? Well, first, let's do an easy question. Let's try a question like this. Now, imagine that this is a perfect regular polygon, okay, perfect shape. Your job is to find the interior angle. And the exterior angle. Now, what are the exterior angles, by the way? Well, exterior angle is, let's say, if I take any side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I extend it. Let's say I extend the third side. Now, this angle which I get right here, that is called the exterior angle. This angle right here is the exterior angle. Now, I can do this for every side. Look, this one, I can also do it like this, which will give me this one. So all of these are my exterior angles, which are outside. All of these. Fine. And the interior angles are everything inside this. All of these. You'll also realize the exterior and the interior angles make a straight line, like this. Now your job is for this shape is to find out what is the exterior angle and what is the interior angle, and give me the answer in the chat. Let's first do one question together, then you can do the other questions on your own. Now I want to volunteer. Lula, work with me. Luna, can you hear me?
Okay, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
Right. The first part is, let's find the, now we have a symbol called theta for this. Niranjana, what is the symbol for this symbol? This symbol right here is called theta, and it's used for angles. So if I say theta interior, that basically means an interior angle. So I don't have to write the word interior anymore. Right? Now, next thing is, how do I find it? Interior angle of the shape. The formula is given right here. Interior angles, which is 180 minus 360 divided by n. You need to memorize all the formulas. No other way. Now, Luna, tell me the number of sides.
There are 6 sides in the figure.
Right, 6 sides. So 180 minus 360 divided by 6. Mawadda, tell me the answer.
Is it 120?
120. So yes, it is. 360 divided by 6, that's 60. 180 minus 60 is 120. Any questions, anyone?
No,
Sir,
sir.
you said to find the interior angles.
Right, interior angle, yes. Which is this one right here. I think the spelling is wrong here. Just a second. Interior. Same thing. Internal angle, interior angle, same thing. So we just
Okay.
use the formula 180 minus 360 divided by n. Now, what if they ask you, the next question is sum of the interior angle. Sum of interior angle. Again, Diana, tell me the formula. We can multiply this 120 since all of these must be 120. Now I know that. I can multiply it with, since I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can multiply it with 120 times 6. But that's if you found the interior angle, right? What if you did not find it?
180 n minus 2.
180 n minus 2, bracket. That's the sum of the interior angles. So we'll just do 180, 6 minus 2, which will give us the answer, tell me. 720. And what is 120 times 6? 720. So both the ways are correct. If you find the interior angle, you can multiply by 6. But I would prefer that I use the formula. Memorize the
Sir,
formula,
I have
repeat
a
the formula.
question.
Yes, say it.
What's the difference between the interior angles 180 minus 360 divided by n and sum of interior angles equals to 180 n minus 2?
All right, let's see. What is the difference? Okay. Now, fine.
And
Let's see.
I don't know when to
Go
use
on.
any of them because both of them are interior.
No, but one is sum, one is the single interior angle. Okay. And they're asking total sum of all the angles. Let's say all interior angles, right? So, well, single one of these is 120. But if I add all of them together, all of these are 120, by the way. 120, 120. This is also 120, and this is also 120. If all of these are 120, let's remove all of this first. Then how do I find the total interior angle? That is, if I add everything up, I'll get the total, right? Now, one way is I can prove the formula for you, how it works. All you're doing is you're taking 180. If I put it in a different format, it will be theta plus or 180 minus theta. Let's prove it for you. All right, just a second. Now I have this formula right here. 180 minus 360 is divided by n. So if I write it like this, theta interior is equals to 180 minus 360 divided by n. What happens if I take this 360 to the other side? Or let's say if I take this 180 to the other side, it will become 180 minus theta interior is equal to 360 divided by n. which will again give me now look, what happens if I multiply both the sides with n one more time? What I'll get is, I'll get over here, if I multiply all of this with n, the same thing as finding each of the interior angles and subtracting it from 180, which should give us 360. Look, now when you have a shape like this, they will not ask you to prove it. All you need to know is how to use the formulas. Now, if this is the theta interior, okay, and if I extend this, what is this angle called? Lula, tell me. The yellow angle.
Exterior angle.
Theta exterior, fine. Now, since I know this is a straight line, this must be equals to 180 is equals to theta exterior plus interior. Okay, fine. Now, if I take this to the other side, this will be 180 minus theta interior is equals to theta exterior. Now, since I know that what is the sum of the exterior angles, Lula?
360.
360. So now, since this is exterior angle, I can go from here. Now, I know this is confusing for you because there's no one's going to ask you to prove these angles. This is much ahead of your syllabus. But all that's happening is, if I replace this 180 minus theta interior with theta exterior, I'll get n times theta exterior. Now, if you guys don't understand, just wait for a second. We'll do different questions. Don't worry about it. Now, since I have 6 sides, if I add all of these exterior angles, I must get 360, right? And that is how we prove it, that this formula is actually correct. Now, let's get back to the question, okay? Over here, all they're asking us is, what is the sum of the interior angles? And let's remove all of this extra step, which is unnecessary for your syllabus, and focus on the formula given. Niranjana, can you tell me what is the formula for the sum of interior angle? Read it. Niranjana. Safa, read the sum of the interior angle formula, quick.
Sum of exterior angles is 360.
And interior angles?
Sum of interior angles is 180 and minus 2.
180 and minus 2. Since in the question they're asking you exactly the same thing, sum of interior angles, all you have to do is use the same formula which has been given to you. All we'll do is write 180 times n minus 2, okay? And I'll replace this n over here with the number of sides, which is 180 times 6 minus 2, which will give me 720. That's your answer. Nothing complicated. You don't have to prove it. All you have to do is use the formula given. Any questions? Let's try. Any questions? Ask me if you have anything. We'll try another question right now.
What is theta again?
Yes, we'll do it one more time. Perhaps a different question. A shape like this. How many sides does it have? Tell me.
5.
5.
5. Now my job is to find the interior angle. All the green ones are interior angles. Theta I. How do I find it? Well, since I know theta I is always going to be 180 minus 360 divided by n. So give me the answer. Mawada, tell me, what do I do after this?
You put the number of sides and divide it by 360 and
Get the answer, right? So this is actually the easy part of the chapter. Let's divide it by 5 and you get 108 degrees.
8.
Any problems here? Anyone?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So it's easy. Let's try finding sum of theta interior, right? Interior angle. How do I do that now? What is the formula? Niranjana, tell me the formula. Sum of interior angle.
It will be 180 minus 360 divided by n.
But there's a problem here. What I'm
Why?
asking is sum of, not the individual angle, but the
Okay,
sum of
so
the
it
angle.
will be 5. Will
Will
it
be?
be
No.
5?
Let's
Then?
go up again. Read the formula. Sum of the interior angles.
Sum of
Niranjana, have you
interior
wrote-
angles. 180 minus
n minus 2 brackets and
N
minus 2,
minus-
right?
yeah.
Has everyone written this? Please tell me.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. Then all you have to do is read the name and apply it, right? Don't worry. It will. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Sum of theta interiors. All you have to do is 180 n minus 2. 180 n is 5 minus 2, which will give me 180 times 3, which will give me how much? Answer
540.
540. Done? Any questions?
No, sir.
Now, what if I tell you you have a shape like this? And your job is to find, let's say this one, you have this angle given. Your job is to find what is C. How will you find it? Tell me, that's the question. Answer it. Let's say, what is X here?
We'll find the exterior angle of the one because there's only one.
One, only one, no sum, not the total of all of these. If you add all of
Yeah.
these, that's the sum. So tell me, I need the answer in the chat from all of you.
This is sum of interior angles.
The question is, find X, which is also the sum of the theta exterior. The exterior angle. Now, Safa, work with me on this. Can you give me the formula for theta exterior? Or exterior angle? What is the formula?
360 divided by n.
So what do I do after this?
And the n is 6.
6, so the answer is 60 degrees. I've gotten 2 answers in the chat. Correct. Mavada, Niranjana, Diana, any doubts?
No, sir.
Sir.
So just apply the formula. Now let's get back to the real stuff, right? The real difficult parts, which is called angle properties. What we did now was where polygons. Angle properties. Now there are a few rules here. The first one, you have to write all the rules actually right now. If you have any questions, ask me, because over here the only point is to ask questions and never hesitate. I think Lula, you have done this as well. The angles which look like an F, angles which look like a Z.
We haven't done these with you.
Never mind that. It's okay. And final one is this. Now these are called vertically opposite angles. So write the rules in your notebook are equal. And ask me if you have any questions. So make the diagram, write the rule. Now, writing this is the key part because in the exam, you'll have to give your reasons for every question. These are all the rules. So just write the reasons for all of them. The first one is called vertically opposite. It looks like an X. Looks like an X. See? So whenever you have an angle like this, which looks like an X and they're on the opposite sides, they're going to be equal. Now this one, the other one is called, looks like an F actually. Now these actually are called corresponding angles. So what we say is corresponding angles are equal. These ones look like a Z. And these guys are called alternate angles. So alternate angles are equal. Lastly, these are called interior angles. Or actually, co-interior angles. Now, keep writing. This is all you have on angle properties. The chapter is done. Now, right after this, we're going to start doing questions. But before we do questions, let's start with the first rule. Diana, read the rule.
Vertically opposite angles are equal.
Equal. Now, let's look at something right here. Let's make a few lines like this. And your job is to tell me which of these angles are equal. Now, okay, let's start with, I need one person to tell me one angle which is equal. All right. And you only have to use this rule. The first rule, which is vertically opposite angles are equal. Safa, start. Which angles do you think are equal here?
H and A.
Was that Safa?
No, Mawadda.
Who was that? Mawadda, all right. So Mawadda is done. We get 1 point here. Safa, Diana, Lula, Niranjana. By the way, guys, can you hear me properly?
Yes.
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 Angle
All right. Now,
F and G.
okay, angle, which one?
F and G.
F and G, you got 1 point. So these are done. What is the reason, Diana?
They're vertically opposite.
All right. Now, Mawadda gave me which
K
one?
and F.
Say that again.
K and F.
K and F. All right. This one and this one. Well, Lula, that's wrong. Why is that? Because look, they have to be opposite to each other, and they must make an X kind of thing. So for K, there must be an angle here which will be equal to it. So K and L will be equal, but not K and F because they are not opposite to each other. Is that clear? Let's try
Okay.
one more time. Niranjana, Safa, and Lula are left.
C and N.
C and N, no. Again, C and N are on the same side. They don't make an X. If I look at it like this, these guys don't really make an X, and they're not opposite to each other. They're on the same side.
M and N.
M and N. So that makes an X.
I don't know if
So
it
Safa got
says
one.
H or the one next to K, but it's vertically opposite to A.
This is H. H is opposite to A. We got this guy and this guy. And okay, let's add a few more things here. Let's make this Z and Y. Now, Niranjana, I need one answer from you. Quick. Niranjana,
Yeah.
any vertically opposite angle you can say. Which have not been
M
done.
and Y.
The rest of you. Say that again. M and
Y.
I. We don't have I.
Y.
Y. Which one's M and Y?
Or
No.
B
The
and
rest of
Y.
you. B and Y. Good job. So we have B and Y. So Niranjana got 1 point as well. Now in our class, we try to do difficult questions, but before we do difficult questions, we need to be clear with the fundamentals. All right. So I don't think you have any problem with the first one. Let's try the second two. First, write this down and tell me when you're done. Up till the third point. Now, one thing I'll tell you is, in my tests, even the last year's batch, the batch before last year, nobody scores more than 60%. So it's very important that you memorize all these rules properly and by heart. Okay, you can pass in school exams getting easy A stars, even in IGCSE, but you can't pass in my exams. And the only way you're going to get good marks is by memorizing all the rules properly. Don't do it, let's say, 2 or 3 days before the exam. Do it after the class. Do it when you're walking or before going to bed. Keep your notes together with you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, I have a question.
Ask me.
What does co-interior mean?
Co-interior means that they are like this. They make something like a C. Now, one thing I need you to realize is all these lines are parallel, by the way. These lines are parallel. What that means is that they are parallel. You'll have this sign here. Parallel means that they are in the same direction and they will never meet each other. These lines are not parallel, nor are these. These lines are parallel. Okay, if they are going in the same direction, both of these are going in the same direction, so they are parallel. Now, whenever you have a parallel line and you have angles which look like this, corresponding angles are equal, alternate angles are equal, but these guys, if you have both the angles on the same side, like this, they are going to add up to 180. So it's inside. Can you see that they're inside this shape right here? If I make a
Yes.
C right here, they're in the inside of it, not outside. They're inside. So they're called interior angles or co-interior. They're together. Safa, how much have you written?
So I've written the all points.
All points and the diagrams?
Yes, sir, I've done.
Alhamdulillah. Mabadda,
Yes, sir.
right? Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
No, it's right.
It's right. All right, perfect. Niranjana, how much have you written?
I wrote all the things you gave, like the drawings. I made them all.
And the points as well?
Points I have to write. I wrote only
Right
that
then.
A plus B is equal to 18.
No.
That all.
Now in the exam, you don't get marks for these.
Oh, okay.
That's what you have to understand. You get marks for this only.
Ah.
So well, you'll have to find the answer based on the diagram. But after the diagram, you give the answer, you'll have to say why is it like that. So why is A equals to B? You'll have to say because they're vertically opposite. This in the exam is 1 mark, and finding the angle based on the diagram is 1 mark. This is no marks. This is just to help you understand. Now, since I've done all the past papers, when I was also doing IGCSE, right, the same subjects, everything, I did all the past papers from 2003, and I know what they're going to ask you. So everything on the board is exactly based on the marking scheme, right? Now, don't do past papers blindly. First, understand what is going to be asked in the past paper, then solve past papers. So I'm just giving you right here so that it makes it easy for you, because in the book it's like a story. Everything is all over the place. So this is neatly organized and you can memorize it properly and you know what to write in the exam. Who's left? Everyone is written, right? Can I move on?
Yes.
Niranjana?
Done.
Done. All right. Now, since everything is done, we haven't done angle properties though. We have done angle properties. We haven't done circle theorems because we did that in the last class. So Mawadda, have you finished this chapter in school?
Yes, sir.
So all right, then we'll solve some questions. How comfortable are you with these questions or with these chapters?
I'm okay with them.
Okay with them. All right.
Yes.
Let's solve a question from the student assessment. Let's start with the first one. I'm writing the names who has to find what. All right. This is for Safa. This is for Diana, and this is for Lura. This is for Mawadda. And this is for Niranjana. I want all the answers in the chat. And plus with the reason why.
B is parallel to D. No, B and D are same.
B and D. Now Niranjana always use us. Let's work on this together. Always look at the same line first. So these
They
are
both are
different
same
lines.
because they come inside as Z.
Which ones?
B and D.
B and D. But the
Yeah.
thing is, they don't come inside as Z. Why?
Why?
Because the Z should be here, D,
Ah,
right? So they should be inside of the Z. If I make a Z like this, they should be right here. So D here and the other one should be here, but that's not there, right?
Sir,
Now
R
we can
and
try
P,
one
Got
more.
my
thing.
answer.
Say that again, Diana.
R and P are co-interior angles.
Are one more time.
R and P are co-interior angles.
Yes, they are. They are.
C is equal to 120, and the reason is co-interior angles.
C is equals to 120. No, that's not correct. Let's actually work with me on these guys. I'll give you to solve it later. Now, first
So
one,
is your
let's
answer correct?
say that again. Your answer is not correct, Aluna. Let's read this rule again, because I think you have a problem over here. Mawadda, read this one.
Co-interior angles add up to 180.
Add up to, they're not equal. That's one silly mistake people make. So let's start with this one first. 45 and cube. Safa, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Work with me. Now on this, we have this line right here. Okay. Now let's try finding Q. How do I find Q? Well, this makes a C kind of thing, and then on the inside of it. So Q and 45 must add up to how much? 180. Why is that, Safa? Because they are.
Because they're in.
They are. You're correct. Say it. Check your notes. And Niranjana, what type of angle are these?
So interior.
Diana, co-interior. Now these are co-interior, therefore they must add up to 180. How can I find Q? Well, if I take this right here, if I take Q 45 to the other side, this will become 180 minus 45. And Safa, now what is the answer? 135. Any questions, Safa?
No, sir.
Now, Niranjana, work with me on the second one.
yes.
Instead of this one, let's try this straight line. Now, if you look at this, these lines are on a straight line. So what rule do they obey?
It will be 180 minus 45.
Right? So let's first write 445 plus p is equal to 180. Why is they're on a straight line? Angles on a straight line.
It will be 135.
P is 135 as well. Now, okay, but you see the magic here. Math is like magic, actually. It's isn't it cool that Q, since we found Q, instead of using straight line, we would know that since these guys also make a Z like this, it will also be 135, right? So we can find the same angle in different ways. Now, if I use Q and P, I would say Q is equals to P. Lula, why is that? Why is Q equals to P?
Opposite in exterior angles.
No. No, let's look at this one. Which of these looks like a Z2? What are these called? Read it out loud.
A equals to B alternative in angles are equal. Alternate angles are equal.
Alternate angles. Angles are equal. So these guys are alternate angles. That's another way of finding P. If I know Q, I found Q to be 135. So P will also be 135. So you can use straight line or this. Now next one, Diana, work with me. How do I find R?
By using P. 180
using
minus
P, okay.
135.
180 minus 35, that will give me 45. But I can also make this, which also tells us that 45 and R are alternate angles because they make a Z. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Now, next one. Mavada, work with me. How do I find C?
180 minus 120.
180 minus 120. Reason?
Co-interior angles add up to 180.
180. Add up to 180. Exactly. Now, next one. Safa, again, work with me. How do I find D? Now, I want you to look at this rule. Safa, read this out loud. Rule number 2 from your notebook.
Corresponding A is equal to B. Corresponding angles are equal.
Right now, don't say this because that's same for all of them. But we realizing that A is here, B is here, it makes an F kind of thing. So these are called corresponding angles. Well, this is also making an F, right? Like it looks like an F, so therefore this one must be same as this one. So this is also 60. Reason, Safa? C is equals to D. Why? Because they are corresponding angles. Perfect. Good job. Now next one. Niranjana, work with me. How do I find B?
B and C will be same.
B and C would be same. Reason?
Because they both are.
They both are. Diana, reason? What is the reason for B and C to be equal? For B and C to be equal, what is the reason? Lula, Diana, Mavata?
Co-interior angles.
No. B and C.
Corresponding angles.
Corresponding angles. Why? Because look, again, it's making like an F. For co-interior, it only makes a C kind of. And they're opposite to each other. They're together. They're on these, let's say, same side of each other. Now, next thing, we know what 60 is because they're corresponding just like C and D. C and B are corresponding. Now, Diana, work with me. How do I find A? What is A?
Is it gonna be 180 minus 60?
Yeah, that also works. 180 minus 60. Why is that reason? What is the reason? The reason will be
Alternate
because
angle.
no, they're on a straight line. Okay, they're on the opposite straight line. So angles on straight line. The alternate angle would not work like, yeah, alternate, what does alternate mean? Alternate makes a Z like this. So if I had, let's say, some angle here, let's call it E, then E would be equal to C by alternate angle, makes a Z. Another way of
Or it
solving
will
this
be
question,
equal to B. It will be also equal to B by vertically opposite angles.
vertical opposite angle. So A is equal to 120. A is equal to 120 because, what is the reason, Mavata? Reason? Diana, reason? Why are these equal to each other? Well, they're opposite and they make an X kind of thing. What are they called?
Opposite angles.
Vertically opposite angles. Right. I think that's a little bit more easier than you started, right? Now we'll try a few questions. Another question on this actually. Can you see the book on the screen?
No, sir.
No.
Never mind. Let's just take a question from here. Let's try part C. Now for this one, I want Safa to work with me. All right, and you have to solve this and give me the answer in the chat. I don't need the reason anymore. I just need the answer. All right. So what is, let's say, C? What is B? What is A? Part C. Now, Safa, let's start by solving A. How do I find A, Safa? Now, one way of finding this could be, let's take a step backwards. Now, I know that since these lines are parallel, let's make a parallel line right here. This and this is parallel. Before I find A, let's find, let's say, D. Now, if these are the lines parallel, all right, these lines are parallel like this, and I have a line going through it like this. Okay. And if I make a line like this, can you tell me what is D, Safa? What is D equals to?
70.
Who answered?
Alternating angles.
Alternate angles. Now, the rest of you, I want the answer, even including Mavada in the chat, all right? Meanwhile, so that's done, alternate angle. The rest of you, the answer in the chat, quick, I'm waiting. So try finding as many as you can. Now, Safa, do you understand how this is D is equal to 70?
Yes, sir.
Because they make a Z like this and they are alternate angles. Next, okay. Now I know that this is 70. Now, all right, let's forget all of this for now. And let's make ourselves a triangle, a perfect triangle. Now, Diana, work with me. What is the sum of angle in a triangle? Sum of interior angles of a triangle.
180.
So 180. So what are the angles inside this triangle, which I made? Which angle should add up to 180? So I'll have 80 plus what? 80 plus?
D plus E.
D is 70, I found it. You know how D is 70? Because they make a alternate angle right here. Now, D plus E. Now, can I find E? So what is E? Tell me.
Yes. 80 plus 70 minus 180. 180 minus
So that's
80 plus 70.
180 minus 150,
80.
and that will give me 30 degrees.
Yeah.
Now I found that. Perfect. For the next one, Mawadda, work with me. Can I find, let's say, now since I know that I know D, okay, and I have this straight line going here, and I have two angles on the straight line. Can you tell me what is C, Mawadda?
C is 110 because 180 minus 70.
All right. Now, Niranjana, work with me. I know what, I know C, I know 7, this one, but my job is to find what A is. Well, one way of doing that is going to be by looking at, let's say, these angles.
Sir, I haven't understood the question.
Fifth one, look, now if you have a straight line like this, okay, you have a straight line. Now, whenever you have a straight line and you have two angles together on a straight line like this, so I have a straight line and I have this dividing a straight line. So what we realize is this angle A, and if I have two angles like this, they must add up to 180. Is that clear, Safa? So I must have a straight line and two angles on it, like dividing it into. Now I know that this must be 110 then. 110 plus 70 is this. Now we have one more thing here. Guys, can you see this one here? This sign, this sign here. You know what that means?
They're equal.
The sides are
They're
equal.
equal. So both sides they're let's say symmetrical. Okay? Or they're equal. If they are equal, therefore this side must be the same as the other side. Because both these sides are equal. So 70 and C, this will also be 110 and this will also be 70. Now one thing is that's how it works. Any questions?
No, sir.
No.
So I know that since both the sides are symmetrical, the angles on both the sides are same. Easy. Now, I think that's all for now. Right? I hope you were able to understand the angle properties. You have done this already in class, but it was like a revision because Duda and Diana just joined right now. Niranjana, did you have any problems?
No.
All right. Now, so you'll have a homework in the GCR, which is going to be about.
Sir, how we
Yes.
get C as 110?
C?
Yes.
Again, all right, I'll tell you. Now look at the straight line. Now, while the rest of you, I want you to solve question number 8. Mawadda, I want the answer quick from you. Even Noora, Diana, and Niranjana, I want you to solve first before everyone else. Is that clear? To start
Sir,
finding
can
as
you
many as you
repeat what
can.
you said?
I
Sir,
said
didn't
that
you-
you have. I'll say it one more time. I said that you have to solve first part, the part 1, and I need the answers in the chat quickly. All right.
Okay.
And Niranjana, I want you to be the first one answering. Clear?
Okay.
Hurry up. Whoever answers first gets 2 points on this. Now, Safa, work with you on this one.
Validity.
Now, say it in the chat. I can't hear you. I can hear you, but let's imagine I can't. Write it in the chat. Now, Safa, look at this. Whenever I have a straight line, Safa, is this a straight line, the green one? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I divide it like this, now if I tell you this is 30, can you tell me what is x?
30.
30? Not really. What happens is, whenever you have something like this, Safa, this guy and this guy, these two angles always add up to 180. Look, so if I make another straight line, I know that from this point, if I get any angle like this, that is 180. So if I divide it in like this, both the angles A and B must add up to 180, right? Since the whole angle is 180. So x plus 30 will be 180. So what is x, Safa?
150.
150. Now let's look at this one right here then. Now instead of having the angles like up here, let's say like this, what we had here, we have it like this. Now tell me, what is the total angle on a straight line, Safa? Total angle on a straight line is
180.
180. So therefore, D and C must add up to how much?
180.
180. Now I know D is 70. So 70 plus C is equals to 180. So tell me, what is C? I have not gotten any answers from anyone except
180.
Niranjana.
It will be
So C-
110.
110. Understood?
Yes.
Perfect. So let's start this one. Safa, tell me, what is this angle right here? X. Now, whenever we have an angle which looks like this, that is always 90 degrees. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So whenever you have angles like this, let's say some angle which divides it, I have a straight line, and I make a straight line opposite to it like this. This will also be 90. So all these corners like this must be 90 degrees. So Safa, can you find what is N then? This is a straight line.
Yes, sir.
Now, Diana, what is your progress so far?
What, sir?
What is your progress so far in the first question? Part A, you were supposed to solve it. How much have you solved?
Sir, I'm done.
Send me the working.
I actually drew it on the notebook, so can I just send you the entire picture?
That's what I'm saying. Send me the working. Send me the picture. Okay. And Diana, did you solve the question? Part A.
Not yet, sir. I'm gonna continue solving it.
All right. Mawadda, have you finished?
90.
I finished A part.
A part. Send me the picture on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Sir, the N is 90.
N is 90. Alhamdulillah, very good job. Now, okay, N is 90. Now we know, look, that these guys, these are straight lines. Okay. Now, can you tell me, this looks like an F, all right? So how do I find, just a second, how do I find P? This is 45, but what is P? Look at these angles. You have to tell me what are these angles, which I made on the screen.
They are corresponding angles.
Corresponding angles. So what do we know about corresponding angles?
They are equal.
They are equal. So what is P then?
40.
40. Now what is M? What do I know about the total angles in a triangle?
180.
180. So now I know two angles, and all three must add up to 180. So tell me, what is M?
Two 260.
No, they add up to 180, which is equals to 40 plus P. So what is P? Now, Lula, I've gotten your answer, but you have not written what is M. Write it in the chart
I have written it's on the top.
on the top. All right.
Sir, P is 100.
If you can't
Just a second,
understand it,
not
you can
really.
explain the way I did it.
No, it's fine. I can understand it. Now, Diana, Niranjana, Safa, let's work on this one more time. If this is 90, then what is N? This is a straight line. Okay. So what is n? The angles on a straight line are equal to how much?
180.
180. So let's find n. 180 must be equals to, or n plus 90 must be equal to 180. So what is n? Mavadda, I'm waiting for your answer. Niranjana, I'm waiting for your answer.
Is my answer correct?
Yes. Just a second.
90.
90. This is 90. All right. Now find n. The same way, but instead of this being 40, this will be 90 degrees. So what is m?
Sir, is mine correct?
I'm checking. Now quickly tell me what class do you have after this?
Physics.
Physics. All right. Yes, Diana, your answer is correct. What about a Q, Diana? Send it in the chat. So M, what is M, Safa? Niranjana and Mavadda, what is your progress? There's a lot of silence here. Now, all of you mics on. That's the rule of my class. Mics on, quick. Or you're going out of class. Diana, Safa, Niranjana, mics on. Now my camera isn't working, otherwise camera and mic would both be on. But for you guys, only mic should be on, right? Unless you have exams, right? But in the class, no cameras, but at least the mic should be on. Niranjana, all right, gone from class. Diana, should you want to leave? No, all right, mic's on. Now, Diana, tell me the rest of the answers. What is Q? You haven't written it. And Mavata, how much progress have you made in part A?
Sir, I'm not really sure with my answers, so I'm redoing it again.
It's fine. Just send me a picture of it. All right. Whatever you have done so far, first send me a picture and then redo it.
But sir, I don't have your number.
You don't have, okay.
Sir,
Do one
Diana.
thing. Diana, share the team number with Mavata.
Okay, sir.
All right. Don't
Sir,
share the answers between each other.
Sir, M is
Do it.
50.
Yeah. M is 50. So yes, M is 50. Good job. Now, what is Q? Safa. But all right. Diana, I want you to check your M again. And guys, if you have any questions to ask me, don't share answers. And Niranjana, can you hear me? All right. Safa, finish Q and send the answer in the chat. Don't say it. Jalula, you got most of it correct, which is correct. All right. Jalula, your answers are good. You also finished this?
Sir, I don't understand how we got M.
M. Now, this is a triangle, look. And the angles inside a triangle add up to how much?
180.
180. So M plus P plus N must be equal to 180. So 180 plus 9 is equal to 90 plus 40 plus N. And therefore find M. Now I won't give you the answer. First, I need whatever you have done so far. Because I want to know what is your actual progress or confidence in the subject. So who hasn't sent? Niranjana hasn't sent. And Mawadda. No. Safa, try one more time. What is Q? Safa, try one more time. Now the class is over here. We'll quickly send me your answers. I'll check it, then we're done.
So is it 50?
No. Again, write the answer in the chat. Now, Mawadda, have you gotten the contract?
Yes, sir.
Take it from the chat.
Okay.
Now, both of these are team numbers. I would prefer if you send it to the second one or the first one, both of them. Actually, send it to the second one because that's the common one. That's what I'm using.
Sir, I did 180 minus 90 and I got 80. So 80 minus 40.
80 minus 40 is how much? Now, one thing, 180 minus 90 is how much, Diana? Isn't that 90? 180 minus 90. Now, Diana worked with me on the board.
Yeah.
Lula, I think you cleared.
Sir,
And Diana, you got the answer?
Sir, I don't
Yes,
know how
sir.
to do it.
Yeah, so 180 minus 90 is 19 and 90 minus 40, 50.
Yes, 50. 50. Got it. Good job. And find Q as well. Now, again, Safa, you have a straight line right here, right? Straight line. So you have two angles on this guy and this guy. So what is the total angle on a straight line?
180.
So find Q.
Sir, I sent you my answer.
All right. Is this yours?
Yes.
Very good. So N is 90, P is 40, M is 180 minus, 50. Now give the reasons here as well. Give the reason here as straight line. This one should be angles in a triangle. And finally find Q. Now since this is a straight line and you have two angles on it, Safa, tell me.
140. 140.
40. Done, right? Good job. Anybody any questions in this chapter?
Sir, about the Q, I
Yeah.
use the A plus B equals 180 co-interior angles like the C one that you taught us.
But it only works if you have two parallel lines. Yeah. So yeah, you can do it. Yeah, that's perfect. This one, right? Is this what you're
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's much better, actually. Good job. But if you can find it in any way, try the simplest method first. Okay? Simplest method.
Okay.
That's all for now.
But if it's
I hope
around 40, so I can just divide it and then I'll get the Q.
Yeah.
And then I found P by the straight line method.
yeah, that also works. That also works. Yeah. Now Safa found P by the corresponding angle method, right? This one, F. Now, any questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right. Now the next class is physics. Join at 7:15. All right. Safa, where is Zahra?